Okay, good day everyone. Welcome to my presentation on my contemporary literature takeaways. My name is Akisha Michael Garcia. Today I'll be sharing my key insights from Module 2 and of course contemporary literature in global and local context. So before diving into my specific takeaways, let's quickly set the stage on what exactly is contemporary literature. Well, it simply means belonging to the present time. In our course, we learned it carries richer meanings. It refers to literary works produced from second half of the 20th century up to the present day, especially those written in the 21st century. It is a fascinating body of work that not only entertains but also mirrors and critiques the realities of our time. It speaks directly to current issues like poverty, gender, identity, migration, digital life, and climate change. And what makes it so powerful that is its accessibility. It often uses language and forms familiar to us, sometimes even mixing Filipino and English or incorporating digital slang. Most importantly, it offers representation showcasing diverse voices from women, LGBTQ individuals, so indigenous peoples and diasporic communities. It truly reflects our life experiences, making literature less distant and more personal. Okay, now let's move on to the 3 most meaningful lessons I've taken from this module. So this concept really shifted my perspective on what literature is and its role in our world. So first, key learning is the concept of literature as a living text. So this idea fundamentally changed how I view literature. So we often think of literature as something static, locked away in libraries, but contemporary literature is dynamic and constantly evolving with society. So think about it. A poem posted on Instagram yesterday can gain millions of readers worldwide within hours. A novel published today can be adapted into a Netflix series next year like Tracy or The Handmaid's Tale. Even a spoken word performance can go viral and spark social movements. So this concept highlights that literature isn't confined to dusty shelves. It's alive in our social media feeds, performance spaces, and digital platforms. So this perspective makes literature feel incredibly relevant and immediate, showing how stories can rapidly spread and influence culture in real time. Now, for my second valuable learning is the blurring of boundaries between high art and popular culture. So in the past, there was a clear separation between serious literature like Shakespeare or Rizal and popular works such as romance novels or comics. However, this module showed that boundary is increasingly dissolving. For instance, graphic novels like Art Spiegelman's Mouse or our very own Tracy are now studied in universities. Pop culture phenomenon like Harry Potter inspire scholarly debates about politics, religion, and morality. Even spoken word poetry, once considered a street performance, and is now included in literary anthologies. So this shift is incredibly meaningful because it challenges traditional, often elitist views of literature. So it affirms that meaning making can occur across various mediums and genres, making literature more inclusive and truly reflective of contemporary society's diverse interests. So my third significant takeaway is how contemporary literature deepens cultural awareness and identity. So the module emphasizes how literature, especially Philippines literature, serve as a mirror through which we can rediscover and affirm our cultural roots while confronting questions of national and personal identity. Consider Luwalhati Bautista Dekada 70, which powerfully reflects the struggles of Filipinos under martial law, shaping our national memory, or Budgetan and Cajabaldismo 13, which incorporates Filipino folklore, affirming that our myths and traditions remain a vital part of our identity even in modern context. So even diaspora narratives like Miguel's Sayucos Ilustrado help reconnect Filipinos abroad with their homeland's complexities. So this highlights literature profound power beyond mere entertainment. So it's a crucial tool for self-discovery, cultural affirmation, and critical reflection on the social realities that shapes us. Okay, moving on, I'd like to share the 3 specific texts, one Philippine and one global. So that particularly caught my attention during this module. So these works stood out to me because of their unique approaches, compelling themes, or significant cultural impact. So first up is by 13, by Budgetan, and Cajabaldismo. So this graphic novel series, which was also adapted into a Netflix animated series, truly fascinated me. So it brilliantly blends Filipino folklore featuring creatures like aswang, tikbalang, and duende with modern crime and detective fiction, all set in contemporary Manila. So I'm particularly drawn to how it seamlessly integrates these traditional myths into an urban setting, making them relevant and thrilling for new generations. So its successful adaptation to Netflix was also perfectly illustrates the living text concept that we discussed, showing how stories can transcend their original medium and reach global audiences, further blurring the lines between high art and popular culture. So, the unique narrative of Alexandra 13, a detective who deals with supernatural crimes, offers a fresh and exciting take on both the fantasy and the crime genres. Now, for my second interesting text is the Americana by the Nigerian author Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. So, this novel explores profound themes of race, identity, migration, and the complexities of navigating different cultures, especially between Nigeria, America, and the UK. So, I'm drawn to stories that delve into the nuance of immigrant experience and cultural assimilation, so especially from non-Western perspective. So, Adichie's writing offers a sharp, insightful, and often humorous critique of racial dynamics and cultural differences. So the struggles of her characters, particularly in navigating issues of race, belonging, resonate deeply and are highly relevant in our increasingly globalized world. It's a powerful example of how literature can provoke reflection on identity politics and the universal search for belonging. Okay, lastly, from the Philippines context, I'm very interested in Ricky Lee's Para Kay B. So this novel is described as an experimental postmodern narrative that plays within multiple endings and fragment plots. So it explores the concept of love relationship through unique, often self-referential narrative structure. So I'm always intrigued by authors who change conventional storytelling methods. So the idea of a novel with multiple endings and fragmented plot invites active reader participation and offers a fresh perspective on narrative construction. So the module also mentioned its uniquely Filipino lens on universal emotions. And I'm curious to see how this experimental approach intersects with Filipino cultural nuisance and exploring themes of love and destiny. So Ricky Lee influence as a renowned screenwriter also adds another layer of fascination to his literary work. Now let's move on to 2 key reflection points that highlights how engaging with contemporary literature has reshaped my understanding of society, culture, and identity. So, my first reflection is that literature serves as a powerful catalyst for social awareness. So I've realized that contemporary literature is far from escapist. So So it is deeply engaged and political. So it acts as a vital platform for exposing injustice, critiquing inequality, and inviting readers to analyze power structures. So, for example, narratives of martial law like Decada 70 encourage us to remember and critically evaluate historical repression, ensuring those lessons are not forgotten. So, novels about corruption and crime, such as smaller and smaller circles, and uncover systematic problems, urging readers to question institutions. Then, also, feminist writings challenge patriarchal norms, and queer literature broadens awareness of LGBTQ plus struggles, fostering empathy and promoting social justice. So even in environmental literature addresses climate justice, making abstract issues tangible. So this realization has made me see literature as crucial tool for civic participation and critical thinking, equipping me to connect text with real-life issues and fostering a more active citizenship. For my second reflection is on the profound interconnectedness of global and local identities. So studying contemporary literature, both Philippines and global, has shown me that experiences as Filipinos, whether it's migration, identity struggles, or political challenges, are shared across borders. So literature truly becomes a global conversation. Comparing Philippines work like Sejucos Ilustrado on migration with Adichis Americana on similar themes reveals that while contexts differ, the underlying human struggles and hopes are universal. So many contemporary texts explore characters navigating between cultures, languages, and traditions, reflecting the fluidity of modern identities in globalized world. So, engaging with diverse voices from global souths like those from Africa, Asia, Latin America challenges Western dominance in the literary canon and expands my understanding of different ways of living and imagining. This has deepened my appreciation for the multiplicity of human experience while also highlighting our shared humanity, fostering empathy and respect for diverse perspectives. So finally, this module has sparked my curiosity and left me with two questions that I would love to research further. So these areas that I believe warrant deeper academic exploration. So my first research question is, how are digital platforms such as Wattpad, social media, and blogs influence the evolution of literary forms, the concept of authorship, and reader engagement in contemporary Philippine literature? So I'm particularly curious about this part of module because the module briefly touch on Wattpad stories by Filipino authors. So I want to understand how these platforms are democratizing publishing, allowing new voices to emerge rapidly by bypassing traditional gatekeepers. So I'm also interested in how the immediate feedback loop and collaborative nature of online platforms affect the author's creative process and sense of ownership. So, are these platforms fostering entirely new literary genres or narrative structures that wouldn't thrive in print? And how do elements like digital slangs, hashtag, and code switching, which are mentioned in the module, became integrated into these new forms? My second research question is, in what specific ways does contemporary dystopian literature, both global and Philippine, serve as warning or commentary on current social, political, and environmental trends? And how effective is it in inspiring real-world action or critical thought among its readership? So the module highlighted the dystopian words like Margaret Atwood's Oryx and Creek, which warns about the unchecked technology and ecological collapses. So I want to explore how these narratives extrapolate current societal anxieties into plausible, terrifying futures. So how do authors use fictional words to critique real-world issues such as climate change, authoritarianism, surveillance, and our social inequality, and crucial beyond mere entertainment? Does dystopian literature genuinely provoke critical thought about our present trajectory? So, are these documented instances where such literature has contributed to social movements, policy discussions, or shift in public consciousness regarding these pressuring issues? So, I'm interested in the tangible impact of these literary warnings. So, to conclude, this module on contemporary literature has been incredibly insightful. So, I've learned that literature is a dynamic, living text, constantly evolving and interacting with our world. So, it blurs the boundaries between high and popular art, validating diverse forms of storytelling. So, it deeply enhances our cultural awareness and shape our identity, helping us to understand ourselves and our heritage. It serves as a powerful catalyst for social awareness, prompting critical engagement with societal issues. And finally, it highlights the profound interconnectedness of global and local experiences, fostering empathy and understanding across cultures. Ultimately, engaging with contemporary literature prepares us to be more critical and empathetic and globally awareness readers and writers is in an interconnected world. So thank you all for listening to my presentation. I hope you found this takeaway as insightful as I did. Thank you.